Hi there, it's Ann Poirier from Shaping Perspectives, and I am going to share with you today a little kind of cardio ball workout. We do a lot of different things, so I want you to take the class at your own pace. Watching out for knees and backs as you move through this. Anything that causes pain, you want to stop. I'm going to show some modifications. Take it at your own pace and have some fun with it. I'm going to throw on a little bit of music, so we have some music in the background. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but you can play around as we go along as well. Actually, I'm just going to let you play your own. So throw on some music, whatever you like, and have some fun. So we're going to start out just doing a little bit of a warm-up, okay? So here we go. We're going to start out by doing a twist. So you'll see that my feet are going to rotate, and my hip's going to rotate too. So my hip and my shoulders are going across the body, and we're warming up through the spine, warming up through the hips, and opening things up. So this is just a great rotation to move through the body. And you can do this also with a little bit of a push up if you'd like. It's going to give you a little bit of arm and extend and open up the body a little bit. Press and press. And this is just going to warm up the body and then swing. And what we're going to do is start out with some cross chops. So you can use, if you don't have a stability ball, you can use a set of weights for this too. But it's a soft squat, so you're going to sit back. So you're going to sit back, drop the ball to one side, and then come up across the body. So it looks like this, down and up. It can be very small or it can be very big. So we're moving through a cross chop. It's good for core. Obviously, it's going to get the cardio going. If the squat is too much or it bothers your knees, you just do a soft squat, right? Soft squat. Weight back. A couple more. And of course, if we do one side right, we've got to move to the other side. So I'm going to have you switch. So it's down and up, across the body, across the body, across the body. Little squat, little rotation. Good, getting everything warmed up. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it back to center. We're going to move into a side lunge. So I'm going to step aside, put the ball aside for a second. Side, little drop, hip back, and come together. Side, hip back, and come together. Side, hip back, and come together. Side, hip back, come together. If you look at it sideways, it's just a little drop back. So the hip is going back, the head and chest are up. And we're keeping the weight on the heel of the foot versus the toe. As soon as we roll to the toe, pressure on the knee. Okay? So holding the ball, squat, and press. So I'm pushing it directly out in front of me, so you lose sight of my face for a little bit. And as you do this, you'll lose it too. So it's just drop to the outside of the knee. Small little side squat. Small little side squat. Small little side squat. Pressing down. Pressing down. Pressing down. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relaxing here. Place the ball right on the floor. The knees are soft, and you're just going to stretch it out. If I press to the side, my hips are going back, my arms are forward, my head is down, and I'm just stretching out all through the lats, getting a nice stretch. Just letting yourself breathe through that. And then what you can do also with this is utilize it. So taking this at your own pace, utilizing it as a little bit of a squat and press. Right? And if that bothers you, you can use the back of a chair, right? And it becomes a little bit smaller squat. The ball just gives you a little bit of a rollout. Good, a couple more. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to have you have a seat on the ball. So this is kind of the most fun, right? So I'm just going to have you start to bounce. Head and chest up and doing some bouncing. If you have anything going on with the spine or this bothers the spine at all, then you want to really soften the bounce and not bounce too hard. But the bounce is really good for the vestibular system, so it really gets the blood flow going and gets things moving for the body. And this can be a great change of state. So if you're in a funky mood, right, throw on some music and bounce. Can be a lot of fun. So just this bounce while you're watching TV or even in between, doing some computer emails, just getting on the ball and bouncing. So I'm going to have you bounce for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to add a little bit of arm. So as we're bouncing, you're just going to do a pull back. So I'm squeezing the shoulder blades in the back, opening up the chest. We know that in today's society, we sit forward all the time, and so we're hunched over forward. So by opening up the chest, it really helps with our posture and helps keep us upright. So this is a squeeze of the back, open the chest. Squeeze and open, squeeze and open, squeeze and open. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Hands come to the hips. Now we're going to do a pelvic tilt. Tilt the ball forward so the back is rounding, and tilt the ball back so your head and hip and your chest is sticking out and your back is arched. So it's tuck, release, tuck, release, tuck, release, tuck, release, tuck, release. Moving right from the hip. Tuck, release, tuck, release. 4 more. Tuck, release, tuck, release, tuck. Right from the hip. So it's not this, right? The hip joint is doing the action. It's the tuck of the hip and the release of the hip. The tuck of the hip, the release of the hip. And then I'd like you to go side to side. Hip side, hip side. And this is just loosening up. It looks a little funny, but it's really loosening up the hip bones and the hip joints and through the core. So you'll feel the core engage a little bit here. Hip, right, hip left. You can to the side. Hip, 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 and then circle. So this is just mobility, circling around in one direction with the hips, and then circling around in the other direction with the hips. Great mobility. Just working on that opening up of things. Good. And then bounce. So I'm going to do another set of bouncing. I'm going to do another set of arms. I like the chest opening. You can open from here if you'd like. It's so good for the chest and the body to be upright and opening things up. Good. I'm going to do a little bit more, kind of keeping the heart rate up here a little bit. So I'm going to have you bring your hands to your hips, and then you're going to bring a heel out, 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 out. So the heel's coming to the front, front, front. Now what I'd like you to do is go opposition here. So sometimes you have to think a little bit. So you're going to opposite arm presses out to the front with the opposite leg. And if you're comfortable here, you can actually bring that foot up off the floor, which engages the core for balance, right? So we got the core going. A little kick, 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 kick. You can see I'm trying, my body's working hard to balance on the ball. 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep kicking. 4, 3, 2. Back to heels. Back to heels. Good. And now we're going to do a knee lift. So it's knee up, knee up, knee up. Again, stay nice and tall. You're going to feel the body having to work to balance. If you need, to be next to a wall, that's fine. Holding onto the wall for a little bit of balance as the body gets used to these different movements on your ball, right? So an important piece to kind of remember as you get started, that you might want to be close to a wall, right? And then you can always add some arms here. You can do a big arm. You could do an opposition, opposite arm to opposite knee. The bigger arms, or to the elbow, right? We do a little bit of a rotation through the center, and you're going to really feel that through the waist. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bounce. Bounce, bounce. Now a little bicep curl while we bounce. Curl. Now, because we don't have any weights, I want you to really think about utilizing some isometrics. So squeezing the arm and then squeezing the tricep too. Squeeze up, squeeze back. Back. Slide the arms back a little bit and hit the triceps. Squeezing through the back of the arm. I'm always amazed that if I do an exercise like this without any weight at all, but I really work at being aware and contracting the muscle, I feel sore the next day. So it's very interesting. You don't need weight to get those muscles to activate. So squeeze. So I'm pressing back. You see me sideways. I'm kind of squeezing through the tricep, squeezing back. 10. And I'm also kind of pulling up, so I'm really trying to work those arms while I bounce. 4, 3, 2, we're going back to the kicks. Kick, kick, kick. So I'm doing a little bit of a circuit here for you. Bounce, kick, knee. So I'm going to kind of move about through 10 or so repetitions, maybe 20 seconds on each one as I move from one to the next. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do the knees up, knees up, knees up. Good. I've got double arms here, kind of going. You could open and close as well. So really, it's what's comfortable for you. I just want to keep you moving so that the body just keeps on moving in kind of a rhythmic fashion. And now we're going to step out to the side. Step side, 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 side. The arms push. Right? So now we're moving out to the side. Side and side. So utilizing the arms, if the arms get tired, just put them down. If the heart rate gets up, just pause, right? Your pace, taking it at your pace. 4, 3, 2, 1, bounce. We're going to do one more circuit through all of that, and then I'm going to do a little bit of stretching with you. So now we're bouncing, and I'm going to have you push overhead. Push directly overhead. So this is good for reaching, right? When we have something in a high cabinet, if we don't use our arms overhead, even if there's no weight, we're just looking at range of motion. Let's get the range of motion. Let's push. Overhead, overhead, overhead. 10. And again, taking it at your own pace. Just always, you can drop the arms down anytime you want. You can slow this down. You can speed it up. No rules. Just what's your body's, listening to your body. Okay, let's go to heels. Heels with a push. You can stay here, or you can go to kicks. Ooh, almost lost it. Keep going. I hope you got some good music. I have a series of different playlists that I like that are encouraging, uplifting, make me feel good, right? And to knees, knees. So the nice thing is we're protecting the joints, right? We used a little bit of weight bearing in the beginning, and we'll use a little bit of weight bearing at the end, but in the middle, really just non-weight bearing, side to side, and pushing out. And we're going to do a little bit of stretching here for the end and some balance, right? Working on the ball. I use my ball sometimes as a desk chair. I find it actually really comfortable. And I know that I'm activating the core and all of that stuff's going on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And hold it here. Relax the arms. Kind of shake them out a little bit. Drop the right arm down and lift the left arm up. And the palm is in towards your head, right? So slide up and then reach over. So nice. Stretch the waist. That should feel pretty good. Take that arm back up. Bring it across the body, outside of the knee, and rotate over. So the opposite arm, that right arm's coming behind you, looking behind you. Nice straight spine and a nice stretch. And then release to the front. Same thing. Arm down to the side. Right arm up and over. Stretch the waist. And just breathe. Inhale and exhale. Arm comes up, comes down across the body to the outside. Other arm comes behind, lift and rotate. It's a gorgeous day here in Maine. The air has cooled down. It's been pretty warm here. So I'm looking forward to getting outside a little bit. From here up, rotate. Center, rotate. We did this on one of the other videos. Really great for posture and opening up the thoracic spine. So just some rotations. And then a rotation tilt. This is the teapot, right? Rotation, tilt down to the behind you. Come back up, rotate, tilt behind. Come back up, rotate, tilt behind. Come back up, rotate, tilt behind. And come back up and release. Relax the arms down by your sides. Relax the shoulders. Now take your one leg, doesn't matter, and bring it up. Balance. Core tight. Pull the belly button to the spine. Shoulders relaxed. And hold the balance. Now the higher the knee comes up, the harder that's going to be. Right? If you have a wall or a post or something next to you, feel free to touch that. A chair, anything will do. If you'd like, if you try to move that leg, that's going to create a little bit more imbalance, right? So that leg that's on the ground is working pretty hard. So just working some core balance here. Or you can just pause it. Or you can have the toe on the ground, right? Your pace, whatever works. Let's switch legs. Leg is up. Hold it. And again, higher. It's a little bit harder. Out and in. So you might find one leg easier or harder than the other. I think it's kind of funny, right? And one side works for us, the other side not quite so much. Good, and relax. Now, a little bit of stretching. Toe comes up, one leg, head and chest up, straight back, reach down. Hamstring stretch, head and chest lifted. So now we're just kind of stretching out a little bit. So this is a little bit of cardio core and some stretching. Okay, other side. And you can take your time here with these stretches. Feel free to move through them again, right? After we've stopped, because these just feel really good. This is hitting the hamstring. Another one we really like to do is open up the hip. So, and you can do this standing too, but seated on the ball, slide one leg back behind you. I don't know if you can see that. So turn like that. So we're opening up the hip. This is another muscle, the hip flexor, that's used all day long. Contract, 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 contract. So this, I'm pushing my hips forward. I'm still resting on the ball a little bit and opening up that hip. So you kind of off to one side. If the arms come up, you're going to feel that much more, but that's up to you and how you're feeling. Good, and then release down and switch. So you're going to kind of slide to the other side a little bit. Leg drops back. Hips come forward. You can kind of roll the ball into that stretch, right? Go to where you feel, some mild discomfort, and then arms up to open that hip up. I can feel really one side much tighter than the other. This one's a little bit looser for me. And that's normal, to have one side a little tighter or looser than the other. So a little bit of stretching, hamstring, hip, quad. And then we want to stretch the back. And we've done a little bit of stretching through the waist and the shoulders, right? So here, I'm going to have you do one of two things. You can bring your hands underneath your knees, round your back, really stretch that back, relax. What happens with people when they round their back, and I tend to do it too, is I drive my shoulders up. So I want you to round your back and relax your shoulders from your ears and feel that stretch. If you can hug your legs, feel free to hug, and then pull away from your thighs. As you pull away from your thighs, you'll feel that stretch a little bit more. Good, relax. Roll yourself up, stretch your shoulders a little bit. Okay, what I'm going to have you do is just take that ball one more time and bring it up. And we're going to finish off the way we started, with a little bit of rotation, rotating through the hips, opening that up. Oh, feels good. And you can swing that a little bit if you'd like. Great. I'm going to roll in towards you. I have to unlock my computer. There. And I hope you've had fun with that little ball workout. So it's stretching, balance, some cardiovascular, and some core. That's it for right now. Have a fabulous day. Thanks for joining.